These are the most iconic people from the land of romance. Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 iconic people from France.
Quand il me prend dans ses bras, qu'il me parle tout bas, je vois l'avion rose.
For this list, we're looking at the most iconic Frenchmen and women in history, in terms of their influence and notoriety at home and abroad. The entries are ranked based on their overall accomplishments, as well as contributions to the country and their embodiment of French values.
There must be a way to make this work for people. We have to find it, Emile.
Number 10. Alexandre Dumas. One of the most famous French writers of all time, Alexandre Dumas' works have been converted into almost 100 different languages, with his most celebrated novels including The Three Musketeers and The Count of Monte Cristo.
Death is too good for them. They must suffer as I suffered. They must see their world, all they hold dear, ripped from them as it was ripped from me.
Dumas also wrote numerous travel books, magazine articles, and plays, making him fantastically prolific with the written word.
She's right, lad.
In fact, in total, he published over 100,000 pages. Although not widely popular during his time because of changing attitudes in France towards literature, Dumas is widely considered to be one of the greatest authors in history.
All for one? One for all!
Number 9. Joan of Arc. You know France has produced some important individuals when Joan of Arc only makes the 9th spot on our list.
Everything was made clear. God had given me a message.
The Maid of Orleans is not only a Roman Catholic saint, she's the heroine of France, and gave her people a reason for hope during their 100 Years' War with England.
Hello. What's all this then? It's a little bird with a knife, isn't it? Ooh!
The most impressive part? She did so as an uneducated teenager from a peasant family. Though she was ultimately captured, tried for heresy, and burned at the stake, Joan's story has been depicted in various works of literature and film, while her legacy is preserved in France through many statues and a civic holiday. Number 8. Victor Hugo. While England is renowned for giving us iconic authors and poets, France packs a potent 1-2 punch with Alexandre Dumas and Victor Hugo.
Look down, there's 20 years to go.
Hugo rose to fame in France during the 19th century Romantic movement thanks to his poetry. But he's perhaps best known worldwide for his 2 novels, Les Misérables and Notre-Dame de Paris, also known as The Hunchback of Notre Dame. Not only a great writer, Hugo was also an advocate for several social causes, including the elimination of the death penalty.
This man has killed me. Even so.
Number 7. Zinedine Zidane. We take a slight turn from iconic historical French citizens to a modern legend. There's no question that sports, and by extension athletes, assume a large role in today's society. And in many countries, football stars are right at the top of that list. Zizou is considered one of the greatest players in the history of the game, winning the FIFA World Player of the Year 3 times.
On savait qu'il pouvait se passer de tout. On n'était pas les favoris, on savait. Donc quand t'es pas favori, en général, c'est là où tu réalises les meilleures choses.
After leading his country to victory in the 1998 FIFA World Cup by scoring twice in the final against Brazil, he became a national hero in his home country and solidified his legacy on and off the pitch. Number 6. Marie Curie. The first woman to win a Nobel Prize and the only person to win twice in multiple sciences, Curie was a pioneer in the field of radioactivity.
This strange power is in that 1,000th of 1%.
She discovered 2 elements, radium and polonium, and formulated the procedure we use to isolate radioactive isotopes. During World War I, Curie assisted surgeons with radiological units near the front lines. She even attempted to donate her Nobel Prize medals to the war effort, but was refused. Curie not only had a huge effect on science and radiology, but also overcame numerous obstacles concerning gender barriers to make her not only important in French history, but in history in general. Number 5. Claude Monet. When you think of France, you likely think of the beautiful artwork associated with the 19th century Impressionist movement.
They wanted to paint outdoors, to paint what they could see, what was really there.
The founder of this movement, Claude Monet. The term Impressionism actually comes from one of his paintings, titled Impression Soleil Levant, and it emphasized, among other things, the accurate depiction of light and movement.
And water was the main obsession of his art.
Monet paved the way for numerous other great artists to follow in his footsteps. Today, his paintings of the French countryside and more sell for millions of dollars, and he's considered one of the most significant artists to ever live. Number 4. Louis Pasteur. The second scientist to make our list, Pasteur is best known for making one of the first ever vaccines and is considered the father of microbiology.
If these animals die because the vaccine wasn't made properly, then who will believe that such a vaccine can save human lives?
It's impossible to know how many lives he saved with his discoveries in the causes and preventions of diseases, including the principle of pasteurization, which sees bacterial contamination prevented in milk and wine. Pasteur is remembered not just in France, but throughout the world, as his name is attached to countless streets, schools, and awards due to his life-saving discoveries.
It's a pity these poor creatures had to die for the sake of science.
Don't be sad. They will live.
Number 3. Charles de Gaulle.
Contre nous de la tyrannie, l'État sanglant élevé.
World War II was one of the most difficult times for France in its entire history, but it also produced one of the country's greatest heroes. De Gaulle was the leader of Free France, which continued to support the Allies and fight against Germany following the fall of France. Instrumental in making France a player on the world stage, particularly during the Cold War. He promoted national independence and helped repair the country's shattered relationship with Germany following the war.
I must call your attention to the fact that everybody will take a direct personal responsibility in this.
Number 2. Voltaire. One of the most influential men of the 18th century, Voltaire was a leading figure in the Age of Enlightenment, which emphasized reason and individualism. While France produced several great philosophers, including Jean-Jacques Rousseau, Voltaire is perhaps the most famous and important. He spoke out against injustice in a time when doing so could potentially cost you your life. Voltaire frequently criticized the French bourgeoisie and was a strong advocate for civil rights, as evident in his 20,000 letters and 2,000 books and pamphlets. Before we unveil our number 1 pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
Ils font des pantalons, je vais faire des pantalons. On n'aime plus les jupes, on aime les pantalons. Je vais en faire.
Quand il me prend dans ses bras, qu'il me parle tout bas, je vois la vie en rose.
Music is truly reluctant to accept anything that resembles a conversation, and he who discovers the musical interview deserves the greatest of respect.
Number 1. Napoleon Bonaparte. Earning his status during the French Revolution, Napoleon became Emperor of France and a leading figure of Europe during the early 19th century.
Я все отдам за минуту славы, торжества над людьми, за любовь к себе людей, которых я не знаю и не буду знать.
He participated in dozens of major battles, winning the majority of them, and gained control of most of Europe. More than just a general, he abolished feudalism and made several lasting reforms, including establishing a central bank, improving the road and sewer systems, producing a tax code, and emphasizing higher education. He also created the Napoleonic Code, which allowed freedom of religion and prohibited privileges based on birth.
When the Duke of Wellington was asked who was the greatest general of the day, he replied, in this age, in past ages, in any age, Napoleon.
Do you agree with our list?
Don't be sad.
Who's your favorite French citizen? For more informative top 10s published every day, be sure to subscribe to WatchMojo.com.